So we're going to kick off with our Supreme Novice Hurdle. It's 1:30 on the Tuesday, and currently with Boyle Sports, Ballyburn is the 5-4 favourite, Tully Hill is 4-1, Mythical Power is 5-1, Firefox 7-1, and it's 8-1 bar. I think you all know where I'm going to start here. I don't think there's any surprises. We do have Willie Mullins as assistant trainer on the couch at the moment, and one of the reasons we got him here was to find out stuff. So, Mr. David Casey, oh, here we go. The phone is ringing. It's Willie. Say nothing. Ballyburn. Okay, first of all, you yourself, have you an inkling where you think he's going to turn up?
Not really.
Do you think Willie knows where he's going to go?
I'd say he did, but I'd say he's changed his mind.
Okay. So, right here, right now, Friday night, a couple of weeks before the Cheltenham Festival, where do you think Ballyburn is going to run?
Don't know.
Right, let's have another go, right? Do you think Ballyburn will win the Supreme?
Yes.
Do you think Ballyburn will win the Bearing Bingham?
Yes.
Right, this isn't going well. Okay, let's talk about him as though he's a runner in the Supreme. What makes him so good, and why is he the one horse that can win any novice race?
I think he's got it all. I last year as a bumper horse, I would completely have had him down as a stayer. But he jumps really, really well. I think he's got, the more he's learned to race, I think the faster he's got. And you saw in the 2 mile race at Leopardstown, he can go good gallop and he can quicken up off it. And, you know, you need a stayer essentially as well to win a Supreme. You know, it's a long way around there. So I think he's got all the attributes. Okay,
you're Willie Mullins. You've got the top job. You train Ballyburn. You make the decisions. Where is Ballyburn running?
You've got to wait and see what else is going to pitch up, and you go the best race you think you can win.
He's good, isn't he? He's diplomatic. That is Ballyburn. You've also got now the second favourite in Tully Hill, who won at Punchestown impressively on Sunday. I know some of our panellists don't think he's maybe all he's made out to be. What do you make of Tully Hill?
Oh, he's a real, real good horse. Doesn't jump as well as Ballyburn, and that's his Achilles heel. If he jumped as well as Ballyburn did, there'd be no contest. He'd be in the Supreme, Ballyburn would be in the other race. He's every bit of the amount of ability Ballyburn has as well. He's a real, real good horse. I think he can improve loads again off what he did last week. And the day he gets his jumping together properly. You know, we had 2 horses last year going to the bumpers in Cheltenham, and Tully Hill went to the champion bumper, Ballyburn went to the winners of 1. That'll tell you.
Okay. You've also got Mystical Power, who's unbeaten and bred in the purple. Is Mystical Power in the same league as the 2 you've just mentioned?
When you'd see him at home, you'd say no. But we never thought that. Like, he went to a bumper in Ballinrobe, that'll tell you what we thought of him at the time. But he keeps producing it on the track, so you like those horses that keep producing it. Obviously, Connections have another horse in the race that's fairly well fancied. So again, he's in the both races. I would have said again he was more of a stayer originally, but he looks, especially the last day Market Hoffman said he's a different horse to the one he'd been riding during the summer last year. So he's getting better and getting sharper, and you know, obviously he has the pedigree to go around there. So obviously very good on the track. Wouldn't be as good as the other 2 at home.
Okay, do you think it's going to be a kind of a last minute thing, deciding who runs where?
Well, Sir Tully Hill will definitely run here because it's his only option.
Yeah.
Ballyburn will be late enough, and I would imagine a lot of Frank and JP will have a lot of input for maybe where Mystical Power goes, depending on what they want to do with other horses, isn't it?
Okay, final question. If Ballyburn doesn't run here and Ballyburn runs in the Bearing Bingham, do you think Tully Hill will win the Supreme Novice Hurdle?
Ability-wise, yes. I'm just not certain his jumping would hold up enough.
Okay. I think we learned a lot. Without learning anything, I think we learned a lot there. Jonny Dineen, the Supreme Novice Hurdle. I know you're going to have to talk a little bit through your pocket here, because odd up in the ante, Jonny tipped up Ballyburn for the Supreme at 14-1, and I presume you backed him yourself. Do your best to convince David Casey to run Ballyburn in the Supreme.
I don't have any input into anything really, to be fair. But look,
in life in general,
he can probably win both races, as David said. I think he will win either race, whichever one he wants. I wouldn't be overly keen on Tully Hill, to be honest, and I wouldn't be overly keen on Mystical Power either, for that matter. If Ballyburn doesn't run here and goes for the longer race, I think Firefox is probably the one that might benefit the most. He'd be a horse I'd be very much afraid of. He has beaten Ballyburn over hurdles. Admittedly, maybe Ballyburn might have probably needed a run, but like, look, still, he did beat him fair and square. And I'd say disappointed a bit in Nace. It probably wasn't the same Firefox that you might see in Cheltenham. He's a good leaper, he's a good jumper. I think he's the danger to Ballyburn. I do fancy Ballyburn if he goes here, but if he doesn't, I'd be going with Firefox, I think.
You're a hugely successful punter, Jonny, and you always said to me that the start at Cheltenham is the most important. If you're behind after 2 days, you're in trouble. The Supreme is a very important race to you. How important is Ballyburn running in the Supreme and winning the Supreme for your Cheltenham Festival?
Well, it's a big kick start, because if you get off to a start in any festival, you're on the front foot. If you go behind, you tend to go further behind, and you do funny things from behind. Front run. Gambling is all about front running anyway. A bit like a lot of things in life. Anyway, it's much easier to do things when you're in control and when you're not on tilt as such. So look, a good start is massive, and it's. The fact that I'm on him, it saves me backing him if he does run. So even if I backed him and he was beat, having this bet on him saves me that anyway alone. So even if he does, I'd like to see him running in here for starters.
So you're a front runner in life as well, Jonny, are you? Everything is on the front foot.
Oh, absolutely.
So your wife chased you, not the other way around?
Well, no, I don't know what happened there. But anyway, look, I like being in the comfort zone. It's so much easier to do things, I think, when you're not under real pressure.
If Ballyburn runs in the Supreme, how surprised would you be if he was beaten?
Sure, any horse can get beat. He'll be a shade of odds on to win, so he's no absolute certainty either. But look, I wouldn't fall down surprised, but I would be slightly surprised if he didn't win. Yeah, I would.
Gavin, would you be surprised if Ballyburn doesn't win the Supreme if he runs in it?
Yeah, I would. Listen, it looks like it's Willie's race, really. Whichever he runs in it, I suppose.
Have you had many runners against Ballyburn, Tully Hill, or Mythical Power this season?
I don't think I've had anything against them.
Really?
No.
Okay.
Don't really have anything for that grade. I'd agree with Jonny. Firefox, I'd say, will probably chase home whatever Willie runs.
Okay, so maybe Firefox might be the each-way angle at 7-1. Robbie Power, you're obviously attached to the Henry de Bromhead stable. I presume you're waiting and seeing what Ballyburn is doing. Henry has said that about Slade Steele, who's a very good horse in his own right.
Yeah, no, he is a very good horse, and he was beaten by an exceptional horse in Leopardstown the last day in Ballyburn. He pulled a long way clear to third himself, so it was a very good run. And yeah, we'll leave it late enough to see where we go. But it'll depend on ground as well. If the ground got very testing, he'd stick to a Supreme. But if it was nice ground, he'd step up and go for the barring Bingham. I think Ballyburn wins whichever race he goes for. I think he'll go here because I think Willie wants to get off to a good start, and he will get him off to a good start where there's question marks over Tully Hill's jumping and Mystical Powers for that matter. I think Mystical Power will be suited by a step up in trip. So if I was a betting man, I'd say Ballyburn's going to run here. Unless it was very good ground, which I don't think it'll be.
So you think he's going to run here and you think he'll win?
He'll win. He'll win whichever race he runs in. He's by a distance the best novice in Ireland or England. He'll win wherever he goes. And I think Willie'll start off here to get off to a good start. Okay,
there you go. That is Ballyburn. Tony Keenan, are you as big a fan of Ballyburn as the rest of the panel?
I would be, yeah. I'm kind of hoping he doesn't run here, to be honest. I'd like to back Mystical Power to beat Tully Hill. I think Mystical Power's a better horse than Tully Hill. More improvement in him anyway. He only had the 3 runs. I'd say by Galileo, we probably want a bit of nice ground. You'd look at it and you'd say they beat Jigaro similar distances, but I'd say the Mystical Power race went far more against Mystical Power than a little bit of a soft lead Tully Hill got last week. So yeah, I see the two of them. Mystical Power's the bigger of the two. If the market was to stay that way, I'd be happy enough backing Mystical Power to beat Tully Hill if there was no Ballyburn in it. But if Ballyburn's in it, I would expect him to win.
Okay, so Mystical Power is 5-1 with Boyle Sports. He's another one we don't know exactly where he's going to go, but it's a pretty much a unanimous panel here for Ballyburn in the Supreme Novice Hurdle, with a shout out to Firefox if he doesn't turn up, and Tony fancies Mystical Power to finish ahead of Tully Hill. That is the opener. It's the 1:30 Supreme Novice Hurdle.